Professor Veith, I had two questions. One was very simple. I just wanted to ask, when, from your understanding, when did the preaching of the third angel's message begin? You know, in relationship to the first and the third. I mean, sorry, the first and the second. And so that's just one question. And the other one had to do with just advice as to how we can practice medical missionary work and safely navigate the legal ramifications and stuff that, you know, certain countries or districts may have up. So yeah, those are the two questions.
All right. As to the first one, when the Advent movement started after 1844, then the message, of course, was the coming of Christ. And they were based on the 2,300-day prophecy. And they thought that the coming of Christ would, of course, bring about an end to what they believed was this earth that had to be cleansed. Now, when Christ did not return, then they realized that they have a message to bear. And there was a message to be preached to every nation, tribe, and people. And a study of the book of Revelation revealed that that message was the three angels' messages. Now, the first one, that the hour of his judgment had come, was, of course, related to Christ's ministry in the sanctuary above, right? So the very first thing after 1844 that they had to realize is that the earth was not the sanctuary, but it referred to the ministry of Christ in the sanctuary that was not made by hands, but that was of divine origin. So once the sanctuary message and the plan of salvation was better understood, then it moved into the next phase. When that message was rejected, that is when they realized that Babylon had fallen. So the message Babylon has fallen because they would not accept the message of the sanctuary message, which is basic to the Bible and is what the Old Testament is basically comprised of. Then they realized that Babylon had fallen. But then they also discovered the Sabbath. And they realized that the Sabbath is a binding commandment of the Decalogue. And once they had accepted the Sabbath, and this was rejected, then they started to realize that this was the mark of the beast that they were dealing with, because the Sabbath was the mark of God or the sign of God's authority. And the opposition to that was, of course, the opposite, man's law, which had changed the Sabbath from the Saturday to the Sunday. So the three messages were sequential. They didn't come at the same time. They came as the first message was realized in its fullness as to what it entailed. The rejection thereof led to the second message. And finally, the issue of authority and obedience became the third message. And so they were sequential. So it happened between 1844 and 1846.